welcome back to our show, Get to Know Your Neighbor. After taking a month off, I'm excited to get back in the swing of interviewing amazing guests. I'm your host, Cameron Geesaman with Geesaman Homes. Our goal, as always, every show is to bring awareness to awesome neighbors of fishers and share their stories with you. Don't forget to click the like button, post an emoji, and please comment below. It's how we see you. And if you have a friend that you want us to showcase or interview, please feel free to share with them as well. A lot has changed since we were last on, as Adam and I actually moved companies and are now with Trueblood Real Estate. I even said it wrong. Trueblood Real Estate. We were just talking about the name. Trueblood Real Estate in downtown Fishers. We are excited about announcing our move and getting the opportunity to interview the owner of Trueblood Real Estate, Mr. Jim Trueblood. Jim started his career at age 16 when he purchased his very first rental home with his grandfather. After graduating from Purdue University, he then jumped right into working for a custom builder, then got his real estate license and has helped clients buy and sell homes ever since. In 2018, he also took another leap and shifted gears, and Trueblood Real Estate brokerage was launched. He and his wife, Caitlin, have a daughter and currently live also in Fishers, and I'm excited to learn why he chose Fishers and the future plans for the business. So please give a warm welcome to Jim Trueblood.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. We were talking about Trueblood, and so then I said it, fumbled it.
It's fine. I do it all the time.
I do it with my last name. Funny enough, my Adam's grandma, we had been dating for 5 years, and I was saying Geesaman, and she looked at me and said, "That's not how we say our last name, it's Geesaman." And I was like, oh, 5 years in.
Yep.
So good.
Yep.
So funny enough, we were just talking about Trueblood. So I do have that question. It's not on the list, but you mentioned, and I get this question a lot, Trueblood is not associated with anything but your last name, correct?
Yep. It's not associated to the show on HBO, which we get all the time, especially drive-throughs or whatever. We get it all the time. But no, it's just our last name. And we had talked about previously, I advertised a bunch on my personal business previously, so we didn't want to switch it, and it's a memorable name and easy to do that. So we kept it, but it's not related to the vampire show, even though we enjoy the questions. We get it all the time.
Here's the thing. The reason I don't mind the question is because it gets you talking about the brand.
Exactly. That's why we didn't change it.
Right. It doesn't bother me. I do think it is interesting that you picked the color red. Was there a reason for that? Or
it's no brainer. Yeah, no brainer to go red when you have blood in the name. I'm a little more, when I was first starting out, I ran a bunch of things by close friends, and everybody has those close people you trust. And I hate to admit it on live show here, but my original design that I did had the O's as blood drops. And my friends were like, "That's going too far. Can't do it." So that lasted about 3 hours, and they shunned me. But besides that, it's a professional logo and everything's good. But the reason we kept it is simply because one, we had the business before the brokerage. I'd been in business for a long time under that name, and we just thought it would be easy to remember, like you said, than a generic. We went through all the generic names and just came back to this and say, there's no point to just try and make something up.
I love it. I think it's color on me. And ultimately, you are right. It does say blood in the name. So, it makes sense. Yeah. I was only a little surprised you picked red, being a Purdue alum.
Oh, yeah. We had all these discussions originally. I didn't like the red and white logos as a born and bred Boilermaker. But the rest of the guys and gals that helped launch the brokerage told me I basically need to get over it. So we have plenty of red and white logos, and it stands out a lot at the Purdue tailgates we do because we have our Trueblood tents. But Yeah, that's the one thing that doesn't match up is with the Hoosiers, but we have plenty of Hoosiers and Butler Bulldogs with the brokerage, so it's all good.
It's just
What's that?
it's just a house divided.
Yep, yep,
It's
yep.
I like it. I did not pick it because or reach out to you because of being Red or Purdue or anything like that. I was excited that your close friends kind of introduced me to you. So
Yeah,
thanks.
I mean, we've been Red before, Red and Black. I was with Jeff Cusick at Cusick Associates and Keller Williams, and so all of our previous stuff was Red too. So there was no reason to do a complete change. We had Red and Black in our colors since I've been in business. So we
Yeah.
just didn't think it was that important to change. So
I think that's probably smart. You don't have to rebrand everything and redo everything when you already have the color. So I think that's probably pretty smart. Whoever you were talking to, I think that was pretty good.
yeah.
Well, we'll jump in. One of the first questions that we ask all of our guests is something about Fishers. So the first question is, what do you love about Fishers, and in turn made you choose it as your hometown?
Yeah, so originally moved to more so Indianapolis. So after college, I did briefly move to Florida, and that's when the downcline. And I was working in real estate, and that's when the Great Recession hit. So came back and came to Indianapolis area because all my friends from college had moved here, and then so we settled on the north side of Indy, like in the Keystone area, and then Caitlin, my wife, and I, who were then dating. Just got tired of the apartment. So we found a house we liked in the kind of the southwest corner of Fishers, and settled there and really liked it. Obviously, as everybody knows, Fishers has greatly changed in the last 10 years. I mean, it's crazy. So we like it much more than we even did then. Then we moved there purely out of convenience with, where she worked in my real estate business, being able to get back and forth Hamilton County, being there 116th and Allisonville was a great spot. And then it's just grown on us from there. So we're actually on our third house within 1 mile of each other. So we haven't ventured very far once we settled in to the Fishers area. So we're just close to downtown Fishers and like it way more now than we even did then, especially with the downtown development, which is, where the office is now. But there's just so much more to do here versus going to, Keystone, Castle, and all this stuff. We have everything here, in Fishers right now.
What was the neighborhood you moved into?
Harvard Park. So Park's at White River.
Yeah.
So if anybody knows it, right there by Riverside Intermediate School. So we had a ranch in there, and then we moved within the same neighborhood to the 2-story section. And then we moved over to River Glen, right at 126th and Allisonville now. So we have not moved very far. So we just like the area. We're close to downtown Fishers, which is better now, like I said, and it's just very convenient to everything in Hamilton County for us.
River Glen is such a good neighborhood. I remember when I was in high school, when they were even still building in some of those, that it's one of those prime areas, but yet still. Now, do you golf as well on the golf course?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I used to play competitive golf, but anymore with a family and work, it's really hard to play. I probably play 8 or 10 times a year, even living in the neighborhood. I mean, I pass through the golf course on the way, pushing my daughter in the stroller to the pool, but that we use it more for the pool and the clubhouse than golfing. But I play 8 or 10 times a year.
Yeah, I do not play. It is not an enjoyable sport.
Yeah, if you can't get to a minimum level, it's not a great time. So,
yeah. I mean, Top Golf is fun.
Yeah, and we have multiple platinum cards for all of our agents and families at TRE. So
yes,
we're the same way with what's that?
On that. I need to get with you on that, because we were talking about this the other day of taking some clients out and doing that. So not on here, but
No, it's fine. We joined last June as something to do different. Everything we try and do is a little bit different than everybody else, and everybody loves it. I mean, most people take their families more than even take clients, but it's great. And for me personally, I mean, our family loves it. You can go play for an hour and a half versus 4 hours. And we've even taken Blair over there a couple times on the lower level, so she doesn't go running off. But no, we have I think 3 different people at our brokerage there today playing. So.
Oh wow, I need to figure that out. Okay, so we'll kind of go on to the next question. Can you tell us about, because you've kind of mentioned a couple of things, but what drew you to real estate at such a young age? Because I mentioned at the beginning, kind of 16. That's young. And I was thinking about my son who's 13. That's in 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I did. I mean, I'm not sure what originally, got the itch in me, but I just always wanted to do real estate growing up, and I was lucky to have a grandfather that wanted to help. And so, yeah, my sophomore year of high school, we actually built a rental house, had a ranch house built in West Lafayette, and my mom and them helped me get rentals. And then from there, we took the money we made from that one, and I actually bought a house to go to that live in West Lafayette for college. And by the time I graduated college, I had 3 rentals. And like I said, I was very fortunate. Most people don't have that opportunity, but it was something they knew I wanted to do. And so, my grandfather helped me, get on that path. Originally I thought that was going to be my path. I thought I was going to just buy and sell real estate myself and develop a big portfolio. And things kind of changed with that. We actually don't have any rentals anymore. But it got me into the field early.
Okay. Questions on that. First off, do you have family that is in real estate? Because who thinks about going into real estate again at 16? Like, was there somebody or is it just Jim one day went, I want to be in real estate?
No, my grandfather was in it. Okay. My family, they owned property, not here. He invested with some friends and bought a place in Florida that we vacationed at. And so there were people in the family. My mom's really good friend. She owned a bunch of rentals on Purdue's campus. And so when I was, middle school, high school, I started, like, when turnover in the summer, I would go paint those rentals, and just ask questions about, why you do this, how much money do you make, all those other things. And so it was always around me. And so it was just one of those things that stuck,
Any advice for us parents out there that would love our children at age 16 to be as driven as Jim Trueblood to want to buy a rental?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think you got to let them choose their own path. That's what I'm already, I can feel myself starting to push Blair, like, hey, do you want to run it someday? Or, you want to go to Purdue? Like, I'll buy you a place at Purdue, but if you go to IU, you got to pay for it yourself. Like, that's, probably not the best thing to do, but let them choose their own path. And then if you have the ability to help them, like I said, I was very fortunate, to have a grandparent that was willing to help me get started a little earlier than others. And I'm very thankful for that. But, I think once they choose their path, anything you can do to help them on the way is the way to go.
That's really awesome. I love that idea. At 16, we've even talked with our kids of like, okay, what are different types of jobs or entrepreneurship, and like what do you want to do versus just sitting and gaming?
Yeah, I mean, and they helped me, right? So it was like, hey, we're going to do this. It's quote unquote yours, but they made me do the work, like in between renters, going and clean it up, write the ads to get the renters. So they probably didn't have a lot of risk financially. They knew if I changed my mind, they could probably sell it and get out of it. But, they basically used it for me as a learning experience. And it was great.
Yeah. So to kind of piggyback on that a little bit more, why do you not have rentals anymore? Why did you get rid of them for all of those people? Because I get a lot of calls from clients that are like, we want to get into rentals. Adam and I even have thought about it. Why did you get rid of them?
Originally, so my stuff in Lafayette, I had three in Lafayette when I moved to Florida to do investment stuff after college when I was 23 or 24. And my mom basically said, I'm not running those. So we sold those at the time. And then when we came back to Florida and I started practicing real estate as an agent here, we did keep one as a rental, but it's one of those things where we have all these other things with real estate. So we're heavily invested in real estate. And if you don't have multiple or plan on having multiple, I'm not sure how much headache it's worth. So yeah, when we moved to our current house, we kept our old house as a rental, thinking we'll just keep it for rental, all those things. And we just had so many other things going on in our life that it wasn't worth it for us. Now, if you feel they have the time and you can manage it yourself and have a couple, I mean, it's great to have a couple of those paid off when you get to retirement. We personally just had so much other things going on with trying to build my team and the brokerage that what at the time was a minor portion of our business or income, we just didn't want to deal with it. That's not saying it was bad. It was just, we just chose to go in a different path. But I have plenty of investors I work with that have bought rentals specifically in Fishers. Like my advice for the last 10 years for my investors has been ranch homes and Fishers. Yep. Low maintenance, you're going to get appreciation. Now 6 years ago, you could buy them for 145. Now they're 200. So the math has changed a little bit. But that for the entire city of Indianapolis, that was my advice. And I, have investors that have 6 to 10 of those houses in Fishers and got in, before the market made its big move. But, because prices, as have gone up much higher than rent. So.
Oh, yes. Even to the extent that I usually tell, I had a client who called me the other day and was asking me this. And I said, he wants to buy one, right? And then have his wife manage it, which is great. I think that's a great idea. I think, though, to truly see return, though, you have to have more than one, because if that one sits,
exactly.
I usually say 5 to 7. Do you have any advice on that for our viewers of like, if you want to get into investing, like how many is kind of that breaking point of like, this is when it starts to really get beneficial for someone to have rentals?
Yeah. I mean, five plus is great. Now it takes time to get there. I mean, ideally what most people would do that have normal incomes would buy one, use the money you make from it, or save up more money for the next one. Then you have 2, and then you can get to 3 and 4 and 5 faster and beyond. But we made the decision that 1 was just not worth doing. And at the time when we knew we were going down this path, we have our time elsewhere. But you can definitely do it. But I think your goal should be 5 plus. And if you can manage it yourself, which is a big part of it, because if you're throwing away now, with the numbers now, if you're throwing away 10% off the top, it makes it difficult. At some point when you get a bunch of them, then it's probably better to pay somebody else. When you're in the 2, 3, up to maybe 10, if you can do it yourself, the numbers just look a lot more attractive.
Well, I think people, or at least some of the ones that are managing them, some of them are asking now for more than 10. And it's like, there becomes a point when it just doesn't become financially fiscal,
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, because the rent, like I said, when you have prices up 25% and rent up 10%, then you're really just trying to break even every month. And the sole benefit is having somebody else pay your mortgage down in appreciation, but there is no cash flow. They're just not. I mean,
and you can't even use that cash flow as income technically until it's at least a year. So it's not like you can turn it, as quickly as some people want. So
yeah, it's a long-term thing. It's when you're buying and holding, it's long-term. You can't use it to buy anything, a house or anything, until it's on your tax return.
Right. Well, we have a comment from someone I asked to join us tonight.
Oh, there's John.
He says, do you think you have an advantage over the big box store type agencies like Remax, Keller Williams, Century 21, etc., because you can be more nimble and act more quickly than them with all of the digital marketing and emerging technology? I think that Jonathan might know you a little bit more than a lot of people, because that's a very detailed question, Mr. Jonathan.
Yeah, he's trying to test me, but that's good. He's been doing that a long time. So I grew up with John, known him since we were about 10. High school together, college together, lived together. When I first moved to Fishers and came back from Florida, I lived on his couch, by the way. But getting to the serious question, and he is a business person himself, is yeah, we do think we have an advantage. We think we can provide all the technology that I think is better. At minimum, it's equal than everybody else, and provide it at a simpler, lower cost of about 65% of what the big boxes charge, which is, no offense to any other company, but you came from C21. Most of our agents came from Keller Williams, Century 21, and the big box places, because we believe we provide the same thing, which was our goal originally, because I was at Keller Williams and then with Jeff Cusick. We can provide all those things and do it at a simpler, lower cost. And we're just willing to make a little less margin. And I personally just think they charge too much, and that's not a sustainable business option. So we're willing to take a little less margin, have people like you that are hopefully happy with their switch, And then we do revenue sharing. So, some of those places like Keller Williams do profit sharing. We do revenue sharing. So 30% of our revenue to the office from agents off the top goes back to the agents. And so everybody, like we said before, my name's on the brokerage, but everybody participates in the growth. And so it helps with just the culture and retention, and it's another benefit. So we think that we have the things that make ourselves a better option. And we knew from when we started, if we wanted to compete with them, we need to be better at everything. So you need to be better, less expensive, and do the revenue sharing and the technology. So to get people like you to switch from C21, everything has to be better. You can't be better at one or two things. You'll just stay where you're at because things are fine. And those are good companies, but we just wanted to do something a little different.
It's interesting because looking at different things, and I've been at multiple brokerages. I think one of the things, especially for me, was, yes, it's less expensive, right? And you have all the technology, but it allows me to then take that and not specifically put it in my pocket per se, but then provide to do things for my clients.
Exactly.
Are beneficial towards them and that house, because every house is a little bit different. Every client has a different request. And so I want to be able to service the client, not just be that big name of like, don't get me wrong. It used to be where you almost felt like you had to be with a big box name, right? But I think with technology, everything has shifted a little bit, and people recognize, or at least a lot of my clients recognize, I'm hiring Cameron, who happens to be with Trueblood, and Trueblood does a great job, but I'm hiring Cameron, and these are the things that she does.
Exactly.
But you allow me the opportunity to be able to do those things and not feel like I'm just like suffering by like adding all these added advantages and paying all this money where the brokerage isn't there to support you. And so what I have found, and yes, I do still very much like being at the office, is that if I need something, I can come to you guys. And instead of what I've experienced in the past, which is I'll suggest a great idea that I've learned and I've done research and I've done all this stuff, where if I come to you and say, hey, this is a really good resource, so this could be something good. From your perspective, it's like, oh yeah, we'll look into that and see, versus oh yeah, you go ahead and do that. And then
right.
Know how it is. And I'm like,
yeah, I mean, everything we have is inclusive. So we have an idea, whether it's from an agent or from ourselves, that we think the technology is better. The thing with in today's day and age is we can go buy it. So there's nothing, they're not, again, this is not talking about any other brokerage, but like Tucker, all those big places, they don't have an advantage because all the technology is available for us. We just have to choose what's best and go get it and provide it to the agents. So we take ideas from our agents all the time. And that's how we view ourselves. We want to be a technology company that sells real estate and do it in a lean, modern way, so the agents can make more money and put it back into their clients, provide more service, net more money to themselves, or all of the above. And hopefully, like I said, that sets us apart. And so far, with our growth, it has. So
yeah. Well, I appreciate it. So thank you. On to the next question, which is because we're going back now a little bit because we kind of jumped forward because Jonathan was asking such good questions. He did also ask who was your favorite, who your favorite roommate was. I'm going to assume that you're going to say anybody but Jonathan Wagner, because, roommates. Anyways, so you roomed with him in college. No?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to go back to college, which was, what goals did you have? Because, so you got into real estate. So this is interesting to me. You got into real estate at 16, but then you still went to college, which a lot of people don't do that. Statistically, if you get into real estate before college, a lot of people will skip the college part and go straight and keep going. But you went to college. So what were your goals after graduating college, and what made you go to college to then stay?
Yeah, I mean, I went to the management school, and I had my moments where I thought I was going to be like, in New York City on Wall Street, right? So, I was in the finance school at Purdue and knew those things, and always just came back to real estate. And I did well in school, and once I realized that, sounds bad, I just didn't want to work for anybody else. Just the freedom of doing that, I just like that more. So I actually went right after college. I went to work for a builder, a custom builder, as you talked about before, and then and then went down to Florida and put together a project to do a condo conversion down there. And it was great, but then the market just turned off. I mean, so those gentlemen kept the property, and I came home, and that's when I moved in with John, and a great friend let me stay at his house for free when I basically had nothing when I came back to Fishers, and go from there. So I did have, it wasn't like a straight line path like real estate all the way. This is what I did. Everything else you kind of find your way. When I came back after, quite frankly, losing a good bit of money, everybody, including my mom, was like, just go get a job, pay your bills. And luckily, I've told this story before, but my mom knew that just wasn't for me. So, got a job in real estate working commission. John let me live for free, and mowed lawns for 2 years for Jeff Cusick, who I appreciate, who hired me as the first brokerage out of school, one of the bigger agents in town, and worked and mowed lawns with his son for 2 years and got my footing. And then, quite frankly, if I didn't have my wife, who had a real job, don't want to consider real estate not a real job, but I think I made a combined $38,000 my first 2.5 years in real estate. She helped me and supported me and gave me the opportunity to do it. Because as when you get into a commission only job, it's a bit harder than people think it is to get going. So, I mean, I had a lot of help along the way. It wasn't a straight path. And then we just started. I know we're off on a tangent here, but then we just started building, my personal business and going from there.
It is a hard business. I don't disagree with you, and I'm fine with the going off, because I clearly do that all the time. It is hard, and it's funny because I'll have clients or friends, whatever, that will contact us and say, hey, we're thinking about getting into real estate. And it's a fine line, because I want to show them, like, okay, like, it is fun. I love it. I love connecting clients, and I love finding houses, and I love going through houses, and there's a lot that I love, but it's not easy. And I think that people don't recognize that. And so I try to, okay, this is what it's going to be like. When somebody says, I don't want to sit at a desk all day, I tell them, but I sat at my desk all day yesterday,
Right.
Like, my desk might be my car at times, but it is, and it's nice to have somebody kind of like Jeff that was a mentor for you. And I try to do that for other new people that kind of get into it, of like, okay, call me, ask me questions. Like, I want to help you, but know that it is going to be a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. And it can be great, like the flexibility and everything else. It's just, you just have to either have a savings up front, for our younger agents, not younger in age, but younger in the business. We have a lead flow program which helps them as it gets going. I never had that, to at least make something and whatever. But once you get on your feet, you can get going. But just to get to that base level where you're going to make enough to make it, and you may not be making a lot of money, but make enough to survive, that can be hard. So you have to either have a help, like I did. I'll admit that freely. My wife, my mom, John, who's on here, I had help the first couple of years. And if I didn't, I wouldn't have been able to wait it out until I got to that point. And so you just have to be in the right position to do it. And we've put some stuff in place to hopefully help those younger agents so they have a higher success rate, because it's not, you don't just get your license and start selling houses. Selling houses once you get going is not that difficult. Getting clients is difficult.
The selling of the house is not the difficult part. No,
yeah.
The finding. Yep. And you have set up a very good system for newer agents. And I think that's really good because, at the brokerage, you've got agents like myself and Jamie Boer and stuff that have been around for a long time. And we can, thrive and survive and really do really well. But then you can have a new agent. And that's not always the case. You either have, agents where all their agents are new and they kind of go up, or you just have new, or you just have old. Like, there's not really, that's what I also loved, is I can feel like I can recommend a new agent, or someone who is skilled. Like, I feel like I can help both, Yeah,
we're set up for all of those things. So we have, we have a lead flow system and technology that helps young agents get going quicker. We have a coach on staff that coached me when I got started, and we hired last fall that can train new agents and then also help existing agents. So we feel we can assist anybody that has the drive and determination to do it. We're set up to take anybody. at this point. And that's what we wanted to do. Or, there's a brief time once we got going, we're like, I don't know if we have the time or bandwidth to help brand new agents, but with our lead flow and having a full-time coach on staff, we believe we can take anybody that wants to do it and help them.
I think you can take a seasoned agent and train them new tricks.
Yep.
Right?
Things are changing all the time. Technology has changed. I'm not going to lie. We think we're, like I said, a tech company that sells real estate. We did have an agent or two that switched originally that came from some of the brokerages. There's no reason even to name the brokerages, but they came over and like, I just can't do this. Like, where are your paper purchase agreements? And that's fine. That's how they operate. It's not how we operate. It's not whatever. And so they didn't fit them. So maybe it doesn't fit everybody, but this is how the world is going, especially in 2020 with COVID-19. Everything got pressed forward to be more technological, to have all those systems. So,
yeah, the paper, you just have to shift and adjust. And I think over time it can be really good. So what has been your favorite part then of owning a brokerage?
I don't know. One, it's exciting. It's stressful for my wife and I'm not going to lie. The last 2 years, especially the first year, we there is risk when you rent an office in downtown Fishers and do those things. But we believed in what we're doing. They believed in me. So to me, it's competition. I don't get to play sports anymore. I like the competition of it. And then I like being able to, like you said earlier in the show, to be able to make decisions quickly. Like there isn't a big bureaucracy in our business. We have a core group of people and all of our agents we trust and we talk all the time. But if someone thinks something works better, regardless of it's our newest agent or somebody who helped start the business, we'll research it and that's what we'll do. And so we just don't have that red tape. So I enjoy, for us, when we started the brokerage, we wanted to take everything we've learned and put all the best parts of, the agents want in there. And now that we own it ourselves and there's not a lot of layers of management yet, we can make decisions quickly.
That's good. Well, and I like that too, I think even if you get big, as long as you have that as a core value, then it should stay as it gets bigger because that's a core value, and it's
exactly. And we plan on keeping it that way and keeping it streamlined. And I know you joined right after COVID-19, but I get a comment when I go in the office, my door is never shut, unless I have a private call and it's a glass door and I'm there. And the reason I'm there is to talk to the agents. And I know people appreciate that. And when they've come from other places, they're basically, hey, we don't see, the people running it. We don't see the owner, but that's the entire reason I come into the office. We've proven in the last 6 months, I can run it from home. I'm running it from home right now. But when we can get back to that and making sure we're available and accessible and in the culture, we just like to have fun with what we're doing, and we've lost some of that, but all those things contribute to what we are.
Yeah. Before we go to the question, I do want to remind anybody that is watching, and I know sometimes we can't see everybody that's watching, but we are going to do a giveaway. Chili's is our sponsor for tonight, and so he has gifted us $30 to give as a giveaway. So as you're listening, we're going to ask a question towards the end, and whoever answers it correctly and first will win that. So I wanted to kind of remind everybody. I post that on social and stuff, but not always. I always forget sometimes to say it during the interview. So I wanted to remind everybody. So you said kind of what you've enjoyed, but what has been one of your biggest challenges you've had to kind of overcome during this? Because you haven't, 2018 to now, like that's not a whole lot of time. Like, have you had some challenges that you've had to overcome?
Oh, sure. Like anybody else. We've gone through, I don't know, when we first rented the office, we were like, oh, we're just renting an office. We rent an office with 20 people and 2 years later you have 120, right? So growth is great, but to make sure along the way you can provide the same level of service, culture, and everything and not change that. I don't know if difficult is the right word, but it's a challenge to make sure you've done that. But now we had some growing pains along the way where we almost, at times we grew too fast and we were struggling to keep up with it. And now we have a great team in place and we kind of know how many back end people we need for a certain amount of agents. And the agents need to be happy to have a successful brokerage. I mean, for me, you're my client, right? So, so along the way, and just with that, and being newer, you just learn a lot of things. The gentleman it just happened, not that there was whatever, it just happened to be 3 other gentlemen that helped open it when we started. None of us had done it before, and we had worked in real estate for a long time. But so you figure things out along the way and those challenges. And then once you think you have everything rolling, you got the first worldwide pandemic since 1916 or whatever. So we've rolled with that, and I think we've done a good job. Our sales have still been good, again, because of our model and our technology and our advertising. And we'll continue to monitor that. We've had to adjust. I hate not being in the office. I know our agents, most of them use the office for socialization, not work all the time. They just like being together and helping each other, and that's gone away. So, there's always something. Once this is over, there'll be something else, and we'll figure it out, move on. So,
but I know that you're okay with that change. So many don't want to do change. I experienced that, in different places that I've worked as well, that it's hard to want to do the change, or they're tied to corporate, which I get that. I understand that.
Yeah. I mean, for us, we've made changes that those big companies couldn't make on that, like just tweaks on media packages for agents and tweaks on plans, and like, hey, we didn't know, but we can tweak those things. And I believe our decision, it's just quicker, and we'll work to maintain that. So,
is there a fear of, if you get as big as some of those bigger names, by the way, you're going to get as big as those bigger names, that you could still be able to do that and keep that autonomy, so to speak?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the key for me is being able to, I don't know, hard to explain this, but without saying it, I like when I think I know the answer, I really think I know the answer. Okay. So being able to now trust the people and be like, hey, relax, take their opinion, my wife's opinion, and so we worked good together and taking the agent's opinion. So I think I've grown enough where as we get bigger, to keep the people and the structure in place, we know what we need to do as far as what it needs to look like as we grow, to make sure we provide the same level of service to the clients and the agents and everybody else. And if we ever think that is impacted, I'll stop. Some people don't believe it. I will stop. My wife is like, when are you going to stop? When are you going to stop? I'm like, well, if we can do the same thing and provide the best, what we think is one of the better services for agents, provide great service to the clients, we'll keep going, but we don't want anything to change with the culture and all those things. So you just have to watch it as you go. So to answer that the question is, I don't know, but I know if I feel it begin to change, we either fix it or just decide like, hey, we can't do what we do and continue to get bigger. So we'll see. I think we can, but I'm not gonna risk what we have to be something else.
Right. No, and I appreciate that. Again, one of the reasons why I really love talking with you, and everybody that I've talked about kind of voice the same thing of like, you know what? Yes, there is a plan, but at the same time, it's okay to shift. It's okay to, have some change, which I'm okay with that. I don't want it to always be the same. And I think, unfortunately, in real estate, you can get into that slump of doing the same thing every single day. And unfortunately, we live in Indiana, and there's a lot, I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but there's a lot of agents that just won't make the changes,
Yep. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's hard. You get, sometimes, doing what you're doing can be easier, but, a lot of times, and I'm kind of personally, I'm a kind of person that I like what I like. And so surrounding myself with people who are consistently bringing up other ideas and things, and realizing I'm probably going to say no right away and just give me a day and then realize, oh, you're right. So you just got to surround yourself with the right people, and you can't, no one person is going to make the right decision. So you just all have to get together, and things are going to change. Like even our advertising and things. I mean, that model has changed consistently, like every year, and you just have to be willing to roll with it and make the best decision with the situation you have. So
it's true. Okay, so we've kind of hit on a couple of these, but can you think of anything else that essentially sets Trueblood Real Estate apart from other brokerages? I know we've mentioned quite a few, but can you think of any other reasons?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing we probably haven't hit on as much on, we've kind of mentioned it, is, the technology and the culture is big to us. But the one thing I always say, like, people can match a lot of what we do. They can change their compensation plan. They can go buy our CRMs. They can provide all the things we do. I don't think they will, but they could if they want to. But the one thing we have currently that they don't have is we have most of the advertising on Zillow and Realtor.com in the entire state of Indiana by a wide margin. And unless we give that up or they change their business model or something else, that is one thing we have that others don't have. So our agents are consistently getting leads who want them. Some people like yourself or Jamie or Mark Studebaker, some of these our top agents, they may not take leads anymore. But one thing we have that people just can't go get is those leads with those relationships with those platforms. So to be number one on Realtor.com and number one on Zillow in the entire state of Indiana, you just can't do that even if you wanted to, because all those are sold out. Right. So we want all of our stuff to be better, but realize it can be matched. But we always want to keep some things that we know that cannot be replicated. And right now, that's probably our biggest thing that we have that others can't have because it's not available.
Right. You just can't go and buy it.
Right. It's sold out. There's nothing to buy. Yeah.
Right. Which is nice, again, when talking with clients, to be able to express when you put something up that they're going to get those views and those things, which it makes a big difference, because even though I'm not a big fan of Zillow, I'm a big fan of Zillow. Like,
right. Yeah. I mean, I get that. I mean, some people were the same way. Like, hey, if, maybe it does intrude on some of our business and how we did things. But if we wanted to fight them, it was probably 10 years ago we needed to do it. Now they're here, and that's where our clients go. Even our past clients go there. That's where we have to be and just adjust with the market. And that will probably change in time. I don't think Zillow and Realtor and Homes.com is going to be the same now as it is right now as it is 5 years from now. And do that. And I'd be remiss if the one thing we haven't touched on yet that I think sets us even different is we have our own media director in house. So we're big on brand and level of media. And you said, like, getting more views online, and you get more views by having video. These sites have algorithms and everything else. And so we having our own media director, now it's basically a media department with more people adding to it. It allows us to provide our clients better service by doing that. And what we've done is made it lower cost to you as the agents to use that. And so everybody provides a higher level of media with drone photos and Matterport on all of our listings. And that sets us apart, and quite frankly, that's something the office incurs as a cost because we keep the price well below what agents would have to go pay retail market to go hire somebody to do the same thing. So we've just decided that's a good business decision and a good place for us to spend our money and provide that to our agents who provide it to the clients. So
yeah, we're excited. We've actually been working on a video because Adam and I have both essentially, we weren't born in Fishers, but we've grown up in Fishers and have been here for over 30 years. That ages me. The really bringing in Fishers, and why we started this show was really to showcase, especially businesses, you being in downtown Fishers. And so, like you said, that media individual has helped us put together a video. We're still working on it, but that really showcases Fishers, showcases us, and allows us the opportunity to kind of explore some of those things. Right. It is something that I suggested for years at my last brokerage, and it just was never well received. And so, it allows us as agents to be able to do that. But then it also is showcasing Trueblood, right? When the agents are doing it, people are seeing more, people are seeing the name more. It's bringing awareness to who Trueblood is as a real estate company. And so I thank you for seeing that as a need and helping provide to us. Yes, we're still helping with that, but again, it's an opportunity. Yeah,
it helps the brand. And what we're talking about, I have to give Wes Johnson and Dan O'Brien, two of the guys that helped bring that to us when they first brought the idea of this when we were first getting started. And and we were watching the purse strings a little more, I'm like, I don't know. But it's ended up being a great decision for us, and it's really helped ourselves, our agents, the extra videos he can make for you, or when agents switch, the stuff we can do covering our events in the community, and then the actual media on the listings. It's been a great decision for us, but I can't claim credit for making that decision.
Well, then thank you to him. He is a very fun individual, and he does a very good job, and is really, really cares. What I like, it's not just a job for him. I feel like he really does care and has.
Oh yeah, Nathan's very passionate about it, which is awesome.
Because I will tell you, doing video, nope. I can talk to someone on, and I can do this because it's conversation. But you put a camera in front of me and tell me to like try to recite something or act. Oh gosh, it was a hot mess. And he really, really helped kind of like, okay, I need you to say this, and we're gonna retake that how many times until you get it right, Cameron? Like,
yeah, they've tried with me, and I'm the same way. They gave me a page, and I'm like, you guys are crazy. I'm like, you can make it 2 sentences, and then I let Dan do it, quite frankly. It's just hard, but he is very good at it, and helps us with that stuff. But yeah, it's difficult to do. Not my forte. This is easy. We're just talking to each other, but it's not like reciting a line.
This all day long. And that's why I got so frustrated, and I was sweating, and I was like nervous, and I literally almost broke down at one moment, because I was like, this is legit hard. I can talk to someone all day long. Why is this so hard?
Yeah.
So kudos to all of you that are on TV.
For sure.
No, so thank you for helping or having Nate as part of the team, and Wes and everybody. We really appreciate that. It's hard not being able to go into the office. We aren't office people to begin with. This is our office at home. But it would be nice to be able to come into the office and be able to walk into your office, which, by the way, would you like to, I don't know if it's been announced that you're opening an office. Where else?
Yeah, so we basically have 2. One's about done. So our Lafayette office has been announced for a long time. Was supposed to open in May, but with everything going on, the construction got delayed. So Lafayette opens around Labor Day. Furniture comes like September 1st. We'll get it open the first week of September. Then we just announced this week, which we're excited about, is we're going to have an office ground floor walk out to the Monon in Midtown Carmel. So, we think it's going to be a great place for agents and clients. It's right near the plaza. We'll have basically a garage door that opens. You'll be able to walk straight out of all the office onto the Monon. So we're excited about it. Construction should get underway soon. It's a brand new space that's never been occupied before, in a brand new building. And sometime around January 1st, we'll be able to move in there, and really, really excited about having the second Central Indiana location.
That'll be really cool. I'm excited. We actually so we've adjusted our website. Now we're doing some video, like B-roll type stuff of like mostly Hamilton County. So like Fishers, Noblesville, Westfield, and Carmel. And we went to Carmel to do some like B-roll of downtown, the Arts District, and all of that. And so I can't wait till the new location opens, because we can do some B-roll walking down the Monon and all that. So I'm excited.
No, it's going to be great. It's we already have some. This is a Fishers show, but we already have some people like, hey, can I at least go over there some or whatever, and it'll be neat for us, because the Fishers Trail is going to be done at some point. To have it paved in front of our office, actually behind our office right now. I don't know if people know that, but we're actually on the new trail in Fishers, and so when that's done, we'll actually be on the trail in Fishers, and we'll be on the trail in Carmel, and so we're excited about that to keep just the. I don't know. We just want to keep that vibe going. So that's pretty cool.
Is it on the Monon? Oh, no, not on the Monon, on the Fishers Trail. Is the Fishers Trail go right by the office?
Yeah. Yeah, it's right out the back door.
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah.
I'll be watching. I knew that.
Yeah, we're on the trail, and we'll be we're as close as you can be. So we're on the trail in Fishers.
I feel like it's like, because I think of Jamie's office. Jamie's office is the other side.
Right. So Jamie's office is on the east side. We're on the west. We're actually, but yeah, our main office is actually on the trail.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to understand Cameron joined before she was able to come to the office daily. So,
yes.
Okay.
I haven't. I think I've been to the office twice.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and we're trying to be safe like everybody else. We have staff that needs to work at the office. So we've just, even me, I'm not even going in. We're just keeping it to the people there to keep them as safe as possible. So
it's good to be safe.
Yep.
Okay. Before we ask one of our last couple of questions, let's get to the giveaway, because I don't know if how many people we have on currently. So the question, how it works is we're going to ask a question from one of the conversations that Jim and I kind of had. The answer has to be put in the comment section, and it needs to be the first person who answers correctly. So the question is, at what age did Jim purchase his first rental property? I'm not going to play, the game. Nah. Just put it in the comments. While we're waiting on the answer, how can we support Trueblood? Like for somebody who's looking at wanting to start a career, or they want to just support me, the office, anything, like where can people find more information about Trueblood Real Estate?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the best way to support us is, give us an opportunity to help you buy and sell your house, support our agents, get referrals. Our agents each have their own page on our website. You can see a lot about what we do. We talked about it a lot here today at truebloodre.com, and it explains the selling process, the buying process, all of our media. Looks like you just put it up on the screen there. So, if you can go learn about it there, but the best way to support us is just give us an opportunity, and we hope to earn people's business. And then as agents out there, we're growing quickly. We think we provide a great value proposition to the agents, and we'd love to talk to you, whether you're just getting into the business or looking at making a change to net more money or provide better service to your clients. Just give us a call. We'd be happy to talk to you.
Yeah. And you can offer up, if somebody has a question from the realtor, not specifically you, like I can answer questions, partially because I've been at 3 different types of brokerages. And so it's nice to kind of talk about, okay, with what you're coming from, what it would look like, and give advice and help as well, in any way that I can.
Yeah. And that's how we've grown as a brokerage. We'll put some just stuff on social media here and there, but we really don't actively recruit. We don't send emails to all the agents in town. We don't do any of that. Our recruiting is done by our agents who are happy to recruit other agents. And we've grown, I guess, almost 6-fold now in 2 years. And that's how we want it. We want to grow organically with people, talking about what we do, and that's how they come. So we probably will not do a major recruiting campaign. It's just not how we've gone about it.
Well, agents, and then also your friends recruit, because I don't know for how long I have literally been recruited by Jonathan and Christy saying, you really need to switch. I'm like, you don't know anything about it. They're like, we know, but we know Jim, and you need to switch. So it was just kind of funny.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got some questions.
Yep.
So it worked out well. So we still don't have an answer. So if anybody, actually, of course she would win, and I kind of love it. So did she posted it on Adams.
It didn't pop up.
It didn't pop up, but can you see that?
Oh, I can't see that.
You can't see it? Miss Christy Wagner.
Nice.
Of course she'd win. I love that. Well, Christy, I will get you your $30 Chili's gift certificates over to you so that you can go support Chris Hebert, but then also support Trueblood, which of course she would, because her mom works for you as well, right?
Yep. Christy's mom is an agent with us, and actually one of our first agents. She's been with us almost the entire time we've been open, which is awesome.
Yeah, I love her mom. She was one of my favorites when we went to high school. Christy and I went to high school. So you and Jonathan went to high school, and then Christy and I went to high school. So
there we go.
Small world. Okay, so the last question, which we ask everybody, partially because this show is about growing, and introducing our viewers, so to speak, to guests or homeowners or businesses of fishers. So the question is, who do you think we should interview next?
Yeah, actually, I talked to Kate about this, and I don't know the gentleman's name, but somebody who's been huge for us during COVID. We've been being very safe as a family with our situation, but is Kincaid Meat Markets, who just moved into the yard at Fisher's. They've been amazing. Unfortunately, I think they had a flood above them in an apartment, so in the middle of July they had to shut down, and they're going to reopen again around Labor Day. But we went there probably at least once a week. They said hello by first name to me when we picked it up. When it was really shut down, I would order and prepay over the phone. I'd pull up, they'd bring it out and put it in my car. And they gave my daughter a hat, so it's all good. But no, they've been great, and because what is it? I apologize, but I forget the name of the butcher shop that was right on 116th that shut down with all the new construction. What's that? Archer's. Yeah, Archer's shut down. We used to go there on occasion, or go to Joe's in Carmel, and having a place right down the way, and Fisher's have been huge for us. Yeah. And so just on social media, they've been supportive of us. We've tried to support them, and they've just been great for our family, and we can't wait till they reopen.
We went once, and it was right at the beginning of everything shutting down.
Yeah.
And I think it was right. They didn't have a whole lot because they hadn't really opened. But I would love to connect.
Yeah, they're full now. So they've expanded. I'm talking very intelligent because I go there all the time. But they've expanded their fish selection, they have full meat selection, they have lunch meats, and they even started, because I believe of COVID, so people could do more of a one-stop shop. They even have some vegetables and potatoes and all that stuff there. Wine, they have wine. I mean, they basically are almost like a small grocery at this point with great meats. And like I said, they've been awesome to us, and we're excited for them to get back open.
Yeah. Okay, so Kincaid, can you think of anybody else?
Was it 4-Day Ray is a great partner of ours. I think we talked about that briefly before, but if anybody doesn't know, so we do things a little bit differently. We have a wet bar in our office and a kegerator from 4-Day Ray in there, and if people want a beer while they're closing or whatever, 4-Day Ray provides us their beer in cups at our office, and we eat there a lot. We used to eat there a lot, now we eat there less until this is over. But they've been a great supporter of ours, and pretty much it's a place I eat out most in Fisher. So if you can get them on, that'd be awesome. They're right down the way and great partners of ours.
They have a great gluten-free options, and they're actually really good, and our kids love it. So we honestly, that's probably one of the majority of to-go places that we've ordered all through kind of the shutdown. So they still, even though we went there before and went in, we just now order in. Yeah.
My wife loves the blood orange blonde. That's what we have it tapped at the office, and I have to bring home all the time. And then their Nashville hot chicken is ridiculous. So,
my husband is
probably the best one I've had, regardless of city, state, or town.
Yes. Adam is agreeing with that assessment, and he has liked having a beer the one time that he had it in the office because we haven't been in there. Well, I really appreciate it. Christy will get you the gift cards. Jim, it has been a pleasure talking with you. Hopefully I'll be able to connect with Kincaid's and with 4-Day Ray and have them on, because I would love both of them on. I think they're both. Kincaid's clearly is a very good meat market that has been around for a long time. And then, of course, 4-Day Ray, with being in downtown Fishers, everybody kind of knows the location. So hopefully we'll connect with them. We appreciate you taking your Thursday, because for us, it was the first day of school, so it was a bit crazy. But we appreciate it. We're glad to be back on it. Next week, I have to look at my calendar because I can't remember. Oh, it's Chris Jeter. So if you know, he's an attorney downtown. Chris Jeter, downtown Fishers. So we're going to have him on next week. So if you are interested in hearing his perspective of actually being a high school graduate as well, and then coming back to the Fishers area, that would be great. If you are watching this on the tail end or after, or want to watch it again or share it or whatever, we're on Facebook, You can catch all of our past shows on geesamanhomes.com. And then we are also on Instagram and YouTube and all those. So hopefully you guys enjoyed our talk with Jim Trueblood. Again, thank you so much, Jim. I really appreciate it. Hopefully I'll be able to see you in the office again at some point.
Sometime soon, we hope.
And thank you so much for having me on the team. You guys have a good night.
You guys have a great night.
Yep, absolutely.
Bye-bye.